Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. 1923 Season 2 is more exciting after Helen Mirren's explanation about Harrison Ford's magical acting change in recent years. Helen Mirren's recent comments about Harrison Ford made their upcoming work in 1923 Season 2 even more exciting than it already was. Helen Mirren and Harrison Ford are the most prominent members of the cast of 1923, where they play married couple Kara and Jacob Dutton. Both of them are powerhouse characters and actors in their own right, but one of Helen Mirren's comments about Harrison Ford made 1923 Season 2 much more exciting. Her comments may even have a hint of what's in store for the final chapter of the Yellowstone spin-off show. After the ending of Yellowstone Season 5, 1923 Season 2 was already a highly anticipated new installment. Though Taylor Sheridan has more upcoming shows that include more Yellowstone spin-offs, 1923 will be the last glimpse at the Dutton family's generational struggle to keep their land for a long time. It's also exciting in its own right, as 1923 is a great show with an engaging story. If Helen Mirren's comments are indicative of what's in store, however, the show will only get better in its final season. Helen Mirren, who first worked with Harrison Ford in 1986 when they co-starred in The Mosquito Coast together, said that Ford has gone through a transformation as an actor in recent years. As Mirren said in an interview, Ford went from the cool guy actor to a much more vulnerable and real performer. Mirren also made note of a specific scene in 1923 Season 1 when Jacob was bleeding out on the kitchen table at the Yellowstone, to highlight how much more real Ford's acting is now. The timing of Mirren's comments about Ford's magical acting also seemed to suggest that something special is going to happen in 1923 Season 2. Mirren and Ford reunited over 2 years ago in the first season of the show, so there's likely something in 1923 Season 2 that brought Ford's new acting abilities to the forefront of her mind. That could be another big emotional scene like Kara worrying over Jacob, or it could simply be a hint of their amazing on-screen chemistry. Either way, 1923 fans can almost certainly look forward to more great work from both Mirren and Ford. Harrison Ford's ability to show his vulnerable and raw emotions should come in handy, based on the story 1923 is likely to tell. The ending of 1923 Season 1 set up quite a few new challenges for Jacob, Kara, and the rest of the Dutton clan to face. Donald Whitfield, Timothy Dalton, informed the Duttons that he had paid the property taxes they still owed, and that if they couldn't pay him back by the end of the year, their land would be his. Their feud with Banner Creighton, Jerome Flynn, however, left the Yellowstone with far fewer cattle than in years past. On top of their money problems, the Duttons' only hope of survival, Spencer Brandon Sklinner, was arrested while on his way to America, and his journey home is far from over. With help still a long way away and Whitfield and Creighton slowly clamping down on them, Jacob and Kara will have a long list of worries and dangers to deal with in 1923. They'll likely be in survival mode right from the beginning, and since they've already exhausted their legal options, there may be another deadly gunfight in their future. By nature of being a prequel show, there's no question that Jacob and Kara will be able to keep the Yellowstone ranch safe from Whitfield and Creighton. What's less certain, however, is whether they'll both live to enjoy that victory, and what it will cost to protect their land. Ownership of the Yellowstone is going to have to transfer over to either Spencer or Jack, Darren Mann, at some point, which could happen because either Kara or Jacob die. It would also be a fittingly tragic end to 1923, and perfectly in keeping with the deaths at the end of another Yellowstone prequel, 1883. Even if neither Kara nor Jacob died at the end of 1923 Season 2, however, Harrison Ford could still get a chance to use his more emotionally raw acting. There's still a hole in the Dutton family tree, as John Dutton II's father could either be Spencer or Jack, which means only one of them needs to survive long enough to have a child. Jack and Elizabeth, Michelle Randolph, have already miscarried, and Spencer and Alexandra, Julia Schlapfer, have yet to conceive a child. Jacob and Kara may have to mourn one another or one of their nephews by the end of 1923. The second season of 1923 has captured the attention of audiences worldwide, expanding on the legacy of its predecessor, 1883, with an even more thrilling narrative and gripping performances. But one of the most talked about developments isn't just the storyline or stunning cinematography, it's the shift in the acting dynamic, particularly surrounding Harrison Ford's portrayal of Jacob Dutton. The legendary actor, known for his iconic roles in Indiana Jones and Star Wars, has consistently been a beacon of cinematic excellence, but something about his performance in 1923 Season 2 has struck audiences as nothing short of magical. Enter Helen Mirren, co-star and celebrated actress in her own right, who recently shed light on the incredible transformation she has witnessed in Ford's acting over the years. In an exclusive interview, Helen Mirren offered her perspective on what makes Ford's recent performances so distinct and powerful. Her words sent ripples through the industry and among fans, as they provided insight into a change Ford has undergone, not only as a performer but as an individual. "Harrison has always been brilliant," Mirren began, her voice filled with admiration. "But in recent years I've seen something shift, a depth, a tenderness, a quiet strength in him. It's as if he's tapped into something we'd all feel but rarely express. It's magical." These words have resonated with many, especially those who have watched Ford in his later roles and noticed a new layer to his acting, where once his portrayals were defined by swashbuckling adventurers and stoic heroes. Ford's portrayal of Jacob Dutton in 1923 has become something else entirely. The gruff, no-nonsense patriarch is, in many ways, a reflection of Ford's own transformation as an actor and a person. This evolution is evident in 1923 Season 2, which builds on the intense drama of the first season while deepening the character's personal struggles, triumphs, and relationships. The stakes are higher than ever, and the emotional landscape of the series has expanded to reflect the turbulent historical context of the 1920s. As Jacob Dutton, Ford is tasked with navigating not just the physical dangers of the world around him, but also the emotional and moral challenges that come with the responsibilities of his role as head of the Dutton family. Ford's performance is complex. There's a weariness in his eyes, a vulnerability in his voice, and a certain grace in his movements that are as magnetic as they are subtle. What Mirren describes as magical could be attributed to the fact that after decades in the business, Ford has found a way to bring even more of himself into his roles. While many actors, as they age, begin to settle into the comfort of their established personas, Ford's recent work suggests that he is pushing himself in ways that feel both fresh and profound. There's an authenticity to his portrayal of Jacob Dutton, one that makes the character feel incredibly real and relatable. Ford is no longer just playing a character. He is, in many ways, living in the skin of the man he has become, a far cry from the brash, quick-tempered action heroes of his youth. The brilliance of Ford's transformation is made even more apparent by his dynamic with Mirren's character, Cara Dutton. Their relationship is at the heart of 1923, and their on-screen chemistry is nothing short of spectacular. Together, they weave a tapestry of love, loss, and unspoken understanding. Mirren, too, has been lauded for her performance, her portrayal of Cara bringing a raw intensity and emotional depth that is as compelling as Ford's. Their partnership is not just a narrative element, but a performance that transcends the confines of the screen. It's clear that both actors have a deep respect for each other's work, and it's this mutual admiration that adds to the magic of their performances. Ford's transformation as an actor is not just about his ability to embody a character, but also about how he has grown as a person. In interviews, Ford has spoken candidly about his own journey, his struggles with fame, the challenges of aging, and his personal experiences. This vulnerability is something that has seeped into his performances, and it has undoubtedly contributed to the powerful presence he brings to 1923. It's no longer about playing a role, it's about telling a story through the lens of his own life experiences, offering viewers a glimpse of something deeply personal and profoundly human.